You are Canadian. We just made 2 videos about your journey in life, then how you transform individual, you help individual to transform themselves, how you help company to evolve. And our last video will be on the subject of decision. How take a decision, governance. Governance for ourselves, governance for as the chief or the CEO of a company. So let's go inside this subject. Why did you choose this subject for the first video, which is the most important video? The subject.
The subject of decision making.
Decision making.
I think the short answer is that it is, despite the fact that everyone takes decision making for granted, it is always the source of the results.
Yes.
So people will have results they don't like, and they will say, oh, well, it's that the market did it, or but they won't say, well, what did I do in my decision? What assumptions did I make? What was my focus? They won't ask themselves those questions. And yet, if you do, then you can improve greatly the quality of your decision making and your accuracy, of course, as well.
Yes, Einstein someday say a very interesting sentence. You know, everybody uses this sentence. It is you cannot solve a problem in the context of in the system in which this problem have appeared. You have to change the way you consider the system. And it is very interesting because actually it is exactly what he made in physics, using some idea coming from other field, trying to solve problem in physics and reimagining all the base of physics. So actually it seems a lot of people are speaking about change of paradigm, and you was introduced to me by Erwin Laszlo, which is one of the major thinkers in terms of change, of how to change the way we think. So can you explain a little in this context how you see this very interesting question of the decision
Yeah, I think the most recent insight from Erwin's work was what he calls the bifurcation of systems, which is where a linear system cannot support the complexity that's coming through. The evolution, from a systems theory evolution point of view, it runs out of steam. It just can't do it. And so what we're seeing right now is a breakdown, a collapsing of old systems. And it shows up largely as polarities, like Brexit and Trump and so forth. You can see these polarities surfacing. So the linear breaks down, but the question is, what do we create out of it? And that is the opening where decision making steps forward and says, all right, what do you want to create? Not what do you not want, which we've seen plenty of in policy. We don't want that, but we're not. So we'll just get rid of it. But then there's a policy vacuum and nothing to replace it with. So we're very much in the place where you've got to be clear about what you want and what kind how you want to just creating it with other people. So we're in a very, I think, a massive, an exciting time about co-creating new designs for education, for health, for the economic system, which is also having its ups and downs and bumps. And so really just recreating the design of organizations as well, because they were originally designed to control behavior, tell someone what to do, as opposed to now where we need engagement. We need people to step in to, and you have to, that means management style must change so that people are working together. There's not that tell, sell, yell approach to management, but more of a cooperative, a collaborative, co-creative approach, those C's. So it's a very exciting time, and Erwin does a really good job in his work of making sense of what you cannot see, but you can sense it. And I think any executive that has a company now, when they walk through their company, should have the skill set to sense whether their company's on track. Is it performing ethically? Is it performing unethically? And if they can't do that, then there's a huge requirement for an upgrade in their own leadership and to parse it, separate it from authority, which, you know, many times they say, oh, leadership, that's the person in authority. No. The leader is actually, when you map the leadership roles, leadership can be the janitor. If they have a big influence and they care about people and they're looking at, they'll have a bigger influence than the CEO might.
Yes.
So this is where leadership takes on a completely different definition, and as well as it's expressed differently in the context of the interactions inside, the social interactions inside the company.
So to finish this interview, it could be very interesting. I am intrigued to know how you see this next civilization, this new paradigm, how you see the evolution of the world. Do you see still some corporation? Does money means still something in the new paradigm? How you see the world evolve? It is a good conclusion.
It's a good question, too.
Only in 1 minute.
Yeah, no problem. I'll fit that in real tightly. I think we're going to see, I don't know how the large companies are going to manage. I do know that there are large companies in this world. One of my colleagues has been tracking their market performance for since 1995. So we've got, you know, at least 7 large publicly traded companies who've been managing for over 100 years on the basis of them being a living system. They are constantly adapting to external conditions. And so I know they're going to be fine because they already have the tools, the skills. They're intuitively intelligent. They've got intellectual intelligence. They're able to tap into their creativity. Employees are engaged. They've got a bigger purpose than the company. They don't run around thinking they're there to make money. They make money because they're doing great work, great benefit to the world. So those companies are going to be fine. There's a big question mark around the others, and especially those that are still seeing this as a linear, oh, don't worry, this is just a little bump. We've got a little complexity cycle. No, those ones will have difficulty if that's how they're rationalizing reality as it is now. So I think we're going to see far more entrepreneurial companies, and you can have that within a large medium company. You just have to know that's what you want. So I think we're going to see much more entrepreneurial. We do know there's not going to, you know, I mean, if you look ahead to the future of work, there's going to be fewer jobs. So that begs the question, well, what do I do? You know, if a robot takes my job, what do I do next? And I think it means you get to do what you've always wanted to do. You don't have to do the mundane jobs anymore. You can do something much more creative and inventive and much more exciting. And so I think the people that understand that can wrap their, you know, switch and match their, wrap their minds around that, will be well positioned to handle what's coming up ahead for us.
How you see the evolution of Canada, actually? It is interesting because each country has its own his own difficulty and chance, also on the opportunities. What are the opportunities of Canada and the difficulties?
I think, well, you know, I'm still probably more in touch with outside of Canada than I am inside.
Yes, okay.
But what I have seen so far from my homeland is a fairly high level of conservative approach, and that's at risk, to be honest. I know. That's not a good thing. But we do have some progressive work being done in the healthcare area. We do have some progressive work being done in the tech area. I just don't know how much support there's been given to it.
And human resources, you are not too bad in human resources. Kind of thinking about human resources.
Yeah, I think we're actually moving away from talking about human resources because that's the old paradigm. That's the old idea that we just plug in the humans and add them to the process and poof, out comes profit. I think we're having to, it's really about human potential. So again, that's going to be the startups. You know, that is the young people who are really itching, who can't fit into a normal, like the normal workplace, don't have to. They can actually go do a startup. So
what is the town of, which is the most advanced in Canada for startup? What is, for example?
Well, Vancouver would say Vancouver.
Vancouver, yes.
Yeah, they would say Vancouver.
It is a good ecosystem.
Yes.
So we will visit you soon.
That would be lovely. Yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much.